Hello, this is Positive Vibes Enterprise. I am Tom Goodwin, Astro Goodwin, and this is Michelle Ronquillo.
Hello, everybody.
And the subject we have today will be willpower. And some scientists a lot of times will tell you that willpower does not play much of a role, but that's the scientific approach where they eliminate willpower and it all becomes a matter of, what their studies say in one size fits all type approach. But we're dealing with the spiritual.
Yeah.
And the spiritual has passion and emotion and desire. And if you have a lot of passion, emotion, and desire, you will often have a will to achieve certain things, to accomplish certain things, to overcome adversity.
Yes.
And that makes you have willpower because if somebody tells you, I cannot do this, or tell you, you cannot do this, let's say.
Yeah.
You don't want to say, I cannot do this, but somebody says, you cannot do this, then you tell them, watch me. See what will result. See, I'll prove you wrong. And that's the beginning of willpower. And it's not something you're going to have immediately, even though some people seem to come out of be born with it, and they're challenging everybody from their first breath. So that's where you get the idea there had to be a past life because it didn't come from nowhere.
Right.
But
old soul.
Yeah, somebody that's done it before, obviously, and is continuing it into this existence. But that willpower is something that you can exercise and develop. It's sort of like a thing you get by using it. And if you use it regularly, and then if you have spiritual theories that support that you can do these things, that you're capable of doing these things, and you believe in those theories and you want to prove those theories are correct, you will achieve a lot. You will have the willpower to achieve a lot because you have a reason, a purpose to achieve a lot.
Yes, the motivation it takes to do things is from that willpower to push things that you want to see happen. And sometimes people's willpower gets tested by the resistance of the energies that are out there in the world. But that is when you get stronger and you get tougher and you build your willpower stronger than the issues that you're going through.
And one of the things is there's sort of like a spiritual status quo type energy out there. And in order to achieve things other people do not achieve, you have to go up against it. You say, I'm not going along with what the status quo tells me I cannot do, what the status quo sort of limits me to. I'm going to go beyond it. I'm going to push the energy of the universe. I'm going to make things happen. I'm going to use my willpower to go up against what other people think is inevitable. I will not accept it. I will say something can be done, and I will be part of making something happen.
Yes, and you can't be passion, or you can't be like having a weak type of energy when it comes to just letting things normally just happen. You have to push it. You have to drive through it. You have to speak your voice and not be submissive to being quiet or just staying on the sidelines.
And there's no need to be passive spiritual and just say, well, what will be, will be. This is life. I'm just part of it. I might as well just accept it as the way it is. You don't have to be that way.
No, it's important.
You can put forth your willpower and say, I'm not going to let things happen this way. I'm not going to allow the world to be this way. If I have anything to do with it, I'm going to put forth my willpower to make a difference, to change things in this world. I'm not going to say, oh, wars will always happen, this will always happen, that will always happen, and that's life, and we might as well accept it, we might as well go along with it. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say, if I have anything to do with it, I am going to change this. I'm going to make it better. I'm going to stop these things that are messing this world up to the degree that I can. I'm not ridiculous in the direction of thinking I can do things that are that one person is not capable of doing. But you'd be amazed what one person can do, and once one person does it, they can inspire others. And once you get the crowd to go along with you, amazing things can happen. So one person can eventually do things, but they need other people to work with them.
That's right. And then in your daily life, you practice that. You practice the willpower to get up, the willpower to live, the willpower to go to work and make your life the most positive thing that you can possibly make it in that one day. That willpower to get the dreams and goals achieved by the constant steps that it takes in the actions, in the motivations, in the resilience, in that spiritual energy that forces you into that driving motions that you want to get things accomplished. You want to not have anything left, any homework, so to speak, in the spiritual sense that you are literally taking care of your abilities to tap in to your willpower.
And the meditative techniques I use are mostly the type that I have developed, are the type that require you push yourself, you push things spiritually. You don't just let go and go into just a let go state.
Yeah.
You go in a state where you push yourself to go even further, to let go even further, to make things happen. In other words,
Yes.
you push it. You don't just let go. You let go with passion. You let go with everything you have.
But it's daily. It's pushing it daily and making sure that each day you hit the maximum willpower, the maximum intensity of your own spiritual essence.
And the stronger you get, the more you can deal with the fact that when you push it really hard, you get really fatigued and burned out. And then you have the resiliency, because if you're used to pushing it, all you have to do is stop pushing it for a little while and your energy will come back. So you can burn yourself out really badly, and then you just let up a little bit and you'll get your energy back, and then you can go and take on challenges again. So it's amazing what can happen if you do something for over 30 years like I have, developed something over 30 years. You can do amazing things. And it takes willpower to go up against the status quo spiritually. But we have to, because the status quo spiritually is not doing what we need to do in this world right now. And you just have to look at the headlines. And I'm not going to go into detail, but the headlines right now are not pretty in this world.
Yeah, it's really chaotic. And the one thing that is feeding it is people not understanding the closeness of the spiritual negative and the spiritual positive of anger versus righteous anger, determination and willpower versus adversity or hurting something in your environment or in your society. The positive thoughts, the positive actions, those are the ones that really makes a difference, and those are the ones that you really need to focus your willpower on making come into your life with the positive.
And when it comes to your willpower, when it comes to personal issues, improving the problems you have in your own individual life, what you have to overcome, eating problems or addictions or all the various things that can lead you to not be as healthy as you can be. Overcoming the personal situations that are challenging you sets you up to become strong enough to use your willpower to deal with social issues and the serious problems beyond yourself. But you have to start with yourself.
Yes.
If you don't have yourself together, you haven't got your own personal issues taken care of, if you're not able to overcome the things that are weakening you and preventing you from becoming healthier and more effective, then you cannot move on and do something to transform this world. And so when the world's messed up spiritually, you can bet that that a lot of individuals that compose the inhabitants of the world are equally messed up.
Yes, and the willpower to be in control spiritually of yourself is a very hard perception, and also a hard challenge that most people say, I don't have the willpower for. But you do. Everybody has that strength sleeping inside. But with the daily habits of waking up your spiritual essence, pushing yourself to those degrees of you just want to crumble, but you're going to stay strong and you're going to stand and you're going to voice. That is willpower that is needed in this world so strongly.
And willpower can mobilize your spiritual energy. So when you need to heal, the people that have their positive attitude that I'm going to heal are the ones that do the best that the medical profession often finds.
Correct.
And I've found that if you have a very strong will to live, you can do incredible things and get away with it, and you won't end up killing yourself because your will to live will find out a solution or find out a way to keep going no matter what.
Yes, sometimes people get cancer, they get health problems that really put a low self-esteem in their willpower to live. But the confidence that you can attain from the spiritual passion inside of yourself is that determination to heal yourself, and you believe in that and put that positive healing thoughts and spiritual works in the actions of the physical, the spiritual will follow suit.
And in the medical field, they do need to focus more on using the spiritual side to help in the healing process. I mean, the medical field has developed incredible things. Science has done incredible things in this world, but it needs the spiritual in order to be able to straighten out the mess this world's in, because it's not going to happen with science alone. Science alone, as you can see in this world, is not solving the problems. It's creating more possibilities, but you need the spiritual in order to control things and move things in a way in which they will serve us in a positive way. We need that spiritual maturity really badly, and we need the willpower that comes with it.
And we need more people to understand the difference between illusions that are set off by people's thoughts of anger or rage or whatever issue they have, and they put it into a spiritual sense out into the world, and people pick up on that and they feed off that negative instead of feeding off the positive. And we need more people feeding off the positive and creating the positive, because that's what it's about. It's about creating the positive in you, so that way you can make a difference in the world.
Just like when you're working with material things, you try to do things that are positive, that people will appreciate in a positive way. When it comes to the spiritual, it takes an effort to bring about positivity in yourself.
Yes.
And in the same thing happens in the world. It doesn't happen automatically. Of course, the negative comes very readily, because when you don't do things, when you don't put forth the effort, things are going to fall apart. So the negative has to do with a lack of effort to improve and move things towards a positive direction.
Yes, and you can literally understand the contrasts of both and understand what makes you feel good, and then start doing habitual daily things that will bring you to that spiritual level, that you will trust your gut intuition and know when your willpower to make something very positive happens. If you need a support, then reach out to support group, reach out to your family and friends. Deep confirmation of truth is about the spiritual reassuring you that your gut intuition is right.
And Positive Vibe Enterprise is all about willpower to make a difference in this world. And we're very much into developing that type of willpower,
Yes.
that will to resist the spiritual forces that are here, that are not open to making a big difference in this world in a practical, realistic way, and to develop the best spiritual theories and techniques and utilize them.
Yes, and build that character inside of each and every one of you, that you feel the confidence of your own willpower, your own strength in the spiritual sense, that you make the difference with that positive steps of healing yourself and getting that control of yourself. And then it overflows with your examples, and the experiences of others can watch the world change by a positive sense of action, speaking louder than words, and knowing that higher spiritual level is tough. It is work. It is strenuous, but it is worth it because it blesses you with the independent understanding of your spiritual strength.
And Positive Vibes Enterprise does not want to remain with a very limited number of people, because the more people we get together with a strong willpower and purpose, the more we'll be able to make a difference in this world. And when I talk about spiritual techniques and stuff that I've developed, believe you me, they are effective. I know they are effective.
Yes.
And they've come from a tremendous will or desire to make a difference in this world. And I want it to go beyond me. And I want people to understand that I don't like being a loner. I want to work with people. And I've been a loner for so long in my life because people wouldn't work with me because I was too far out for them. I was scary, but that's not true anymore because I've gotten my act together a lot with all this effort I put into. I want people to work with me, and a lot of people have more capabilities than me. I'm sort of very limited in a particular area. I mean, I've achieved a lot in that area, but I'm limited, and I just soon work with people that don't have the strong limitations I have in other areas in this world.
And it's awesome to be able to see the growth of others and be able to provide techniques that others can thrive and make into this huge momentum of spiritual knowledge that is so needed in this world. And it really takes the willpower to keep pushing. Like Tom said, he kept pushing, and here he is. He's got a great support team, and come on and ask him about any of his techniques, and he will help you start them in your life so you can see differences in your physical, spiritual techniques of your daily, and see how well it helps with the clarity and self-control in the spiritual sense of any kind of crisis, any kind of issues that you're going through daily. In that focusing, in that determination, in that awareness of what you're trying to accomplish, we're here for you, and we will support you 100%.
And one thing about me is I'm very much into demonstrating. I want things to happen, so I'm a demonstrator. In other words, I was a runner. So I've always been a person that I'm into proving what I say works.
Yes.
In other words, I don't want to just talk ideas or theories. I want to demonstrate that they actually work, and I will demonstrate my meditative techniques and other things on the spot because that's the type of person I am.
Well, and also what's great is that in the like-mindedness of the spiritual change, people need to research and try it out for themselves. And then once you do, you can see how it works for you or change things that work for you better. It is all about the actions that it takes to habitually change the routines into a spiritual enlightenment.
Because with me, I found that the traditional methods have never worked for me because I've been so unique. So when I've developed techniques, I try to develop them based on theories, and then I tell people, find out what works with you, make adjustments, do whatever it takes. Be creative like me. In other words, don't get caught up in the rigidity of the past because that's where the trouble has been caused.
And I enjoy my meditative walks where I reach out and do my own techniques in my walks. And I cannot go a day without needing my walks. And sometimes when I'm dragging my feet, and talk about willpower, dragging my feet and I don't want to do it, but once I get out there and do it, I'm so thankful that I pushed through because I needed that clarity. I needed to release something into my meditative walks that I might have been holding on spiritually, and it just felt so much better. So I am a spiritual pioneer in the fact that I take things and I use them for my own essence and my own growth. So I took his meditative techniques and literally made it into mine with my different moves and different techniques that I do, and it expands me. And that's literally what we're here for you to do, is pick up these techniques, try them out for yourself, see if they work for your spiritual benefit, and I'll guarantee you that you'll get great results. Because when you put the willpower and the drive to try new things and do new things for yourself, you always get blessed.
This is Positive Vibes Enterprise. The subject today was willpower. And we appreciate everybody that has watched it. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes, thank you so much for being here, and everyone. See you next time.
Thank you.